maybe other people, but personally, I did not feel very open about it, like wanting to sit and have a chit chat over a cup of tea. No, because it wasn't something I expected.
I'm sorry.
I hug.
I asked the doctor, I said, I don't understand. I ovulate. You know, my husband has done his checks, everything is
It's
good.
fine.
Why am I not getting? I need you to explain it to me like I'm a child. Why?
For me, personally, okay, well, both Shayo and I are foodies.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we are quite obsessed with food. And I'm really looking forward to this episode because it's about food. But, let's start with something interesting.
Okay.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten and where?
What's the weirdest thing?
Or the most unusual thing you've ever eaten?
I don't know. I can't. Oh, there was one thing in Ghana recently. It was really, really black. It was, I don't know, like, I can't even explain it.
What was it made of?
They said the back of yam, but it was
Amala.
cooked in one way. It was like pebbles, little ones, and they put some pepper, onions, oil. I put it in my mouth and I was like, nah,
This
is
isn't it.
not for me.
This is-
It's about the weirdest thing, the texture, the taste. It wasn't bitter or
Do you know the name?
disgusting. I can't. It was one Ghanaian name, so I don't remember. But hey,
What about you, Shayo?
Wait, sorry. Isn't the back of yam amala?
this one there, they boiled it. I don't know what they did to it,
was
but they said
different.
I had to know what's this. Said it was like the peel of back of yam.
It would have to be a grasshopper in Thailand. Yeah, it was nice. It tastes like chicken.
I think for me, the weirdest
Texture.
thing was donkey meat in China. In my defense, I wasn't aware that it was donkey meat until after they had served us the food. And I did pray to God to deliver me from eating donkey from Shrek. But yeah, I think it has to be donkey meat. And then I've also eaten alligator and like crocodile.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't think that's unusual because if you're driving like along that Ikeja Jerry Road, they literally will be hanging around that Sheraton side.
Yeah.
You see people holding these alligators and then, you're asking you to buy. And alligator meat is like really, really, they're not an endangered species, I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's really, really
They
good.
are.
So yeah, donkey meat and alligator has
How
to
did
be
the donkey meat taste?
Girl, I ain't gonna lie. Donkey was good. Like I was feeling like Shrek.
You didn't even know,
I
right?
was
That it
feeling
was
like
something
I was
different.
feeling like Shrek. Like, do you know, I want to say that after I found out,
Uh-huh.
I stopped. I really want to say that.
When you
finished
continue.
But I continued because I feel like they're starving kids in Africa and I don't want to like waste food since I'm part of them. So
okay.
I had to do it for the culture. So
Nah,
yeah,
so-
donkey meat in China and then alligator meat here in Lagos. Speaking of, maybe I should even call that guy self. Let's get some things done.
Let's go.
But yeah, I'm really excited today's episode because we have with us Ify of Ify's Kitchen. I feel like everybody watching this episode, if you're a foodie, even if you aren't a foodie, if you like anything that's not just for being on social media alone, we know you. Over 2 million followers and growing on Instagram across different social media platforms. Please tell us, who is Ify?
Okay, so Ify is a lawyer, a mom.
My learned colleague.
But
Hey,
you
she's
didn't
a
know?
lawyer too.
Honestly,
I
I didn't
saw.
know.
For real? A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, wow.
I practiced for over 14 years.
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
Yeah, I only just resigned about 2 years ago when I decided to,
Go full time.
full-time to content creating. Yeah, a
So-
lot of people don't know.
Okay, we're going to talk about how you juggled having like a
Uh-huh.
law career and your food
Yeah.
content creation. But yeah,
Yeah, so if he's a lawyer, if he's a mom, a cooking show host, I have a very vibrant channel on YouTube. I also had, I think it was last year, I had a cooking show on DSTV.
come on, girl, secure the bag.
Yeah, so I really love to cook and I enjoy eating and just chilling. If I'm not cooking or doing stuff, I just like to relax, listen to motivational videos, books, and just chill with scented candles and,
What's that?
Yeah.
yeah, so that's Ify basically. Easygoing lady.
Definitely, and very beautiful.
Oh, thank
Yes,
you.
it was,
The camera does not do her
You're
justice.
brightening up our set, and I love it. I think obviously, like the most obvious question to ask
Yeah.
would be, how do you juggle all of this? I'm really fascinated with fascinated by how you juggled having like a law career
Yeah.
with your food content creation, because you didn't just start now. So
No.
obviously, for the longest time, because you quit or you resigned
Yeah.
about 2 years ago, and then by then you already had like your following and you already had
Yeah.
things that you were doing.
Yeah.
How was it juggling all of this with a growing social media presence in a field that is very, very demanding, to be honest, because
Extremely.
I think cooking is a very demanding social media field because there are always like new recipes, there's always new things to explore. How many years ago everybody was frying with oil, all of a sudden they brought out air fryer and everybody has to come up with different
Of
air
course.
frying recipes.
Yeah.
And how was it juggling all of that?
I'll give it to a great support system. It wasn't easy. Oh no, it wasn't. I didn't have a life, literally. I'll go to work in the morning, come back. As soon as I come back, I'm just dropping my bag. Still in my outfit, I've just gone into the kitchen to create content because a lot of people were just expecting, I would say I was the first person to start video recipes on Instagram, right? So it was new, it was exciting. People wanted that. So it was very demanding for me, but somehow, and then my husband was very helpful. I had people who would help me go to the market. My mom was very, very helpful as well. At the time, I didn't have kids, so should I say it was elite? I didn't have the kids um, to take some of my attention until very recently. And yeah, so I'll say it was very demanding, but I had a great support system that's helped me to juggle everything.
All of that.
Yeah.
I think social media content creation in general is quite expensive if we're being honest, but I feel like there's some more fields that are more expensive
Demand
than
more.
others, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like fashion, here you can restyle your clothes, you can't thrift food, but you can restyle your clothes, you can thrift clothes, you can do this. I mean, travel is quite expensive, but food is also very, very, very expensive. How did you juggle that? Because now you're not just cooking for yourself and like, cooking for the house generally, you're also cooking to create content. And sometimes I feel like some of these recipes are like large recipes. And
Yeah.
how did you handle, like, was it like a proper financial burden, or you just chalked it up to the game as well, I have somewhere that I'm getting to and this is how?
Well, lucky for me, I told you I had a 9 to 5. So my work at the time, my job was, I was funding my passion. So I would use some of the money to fund that. And then along the line, brand deals started coming and then I started having money. And so, yeah, it's expensive, all right. But you know that people are waiting for you to churn out good things and you have to have the freshest of ingredients because the truth is, at the end of the day, your ingredients are the things that will determine the outcome of the food. So you need to have the freshest of ingredient. And on social media, everything has to be
Aesthetically
good.
pleasing.
Yeah.
Why is her frying
Visually
pan
appealing.
hot? Why is
Are
there
you
this thing on the gas?
Oh, sorry. Are you self-taught? Like, who taught you how to cook?
I'll say I got my foundation from my mom initially, but I haven't gone to any formal culinary school. So in a way, I'm self-taught. I have the resources I go to online, YouTube, friends, family, anybody and anywhere, books, cookbooks. You could be here talking about a recipe you tried or your mom taught you, and the next thing I'm like, I'm not leaving you. How did she make it? Can I call your mom? This. So I'm everywhere. I don't look down on any particular place. So yes, I'm self-taught and I do a lot of research and talk to a lot of people.
I know you said, sorry, you stated that you started about 2 years ago, but how did you just decide that, hey...
Started-
No. She
Oh, no,
quit
sorry,
her
you
9 to
quit
5.
2 years
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Prior to that, how did you decide that being a lawyer and wanting to make food content, they're very drastic on extreme ends? Like, how did you decide that, hey, I'm just going to go out there, everyone knows me as a lawyer, I'm going to go out there and now say that I cook food? Like,
Okay.
how did you even explain that to your family as well? Because
Are you talking of when I wanted to make the leap, or how did I even start? Let me understand.
Let's
the
start
question.
with how you
Like
started.
both.
Right. So someone opened an Instagram page for me and I was like, what am I going to do here? I don't take pictures. I really don't have that lifestyle, pictures, do this, put out things. What am I going to do? And I said to myself, okay, a lot of your friends, family, everyone, they've always known me to love food, cooking and telling people new recipes. So I'm like, if my friends have this challenge, then people all over the world who don't have access to me probably have this challenge. You know what? I'm just going to put it out there for anyone interested. I didn't even know it was a thing. So I remember my very first video with my phone in one hand, my poorly lit kitchen, and then I was making pasta. Guys, if you look at that video, you will cringe.
You still have
but
it?
I still have it. I put it there.
Humble beginnings.
Yeah, humble beginning. Yeah, so that was how I started. So it was just me just playing, chilling, just enjoying myself, going to work in the morning, coming back and creating something, whatever I would have for dinner, and then putting it out there. So that was how it just started. So it was not a big deal. My
Very
parents
organic.
did not they were not worried. My friends were not worried because, of course, you still have your serious career. It was nothing. The real worry came when I said I was going to resign and face this, and that was when everybody was like, "You're joking, right?" I said, "No, I'm not." And a friend of mine, I'll never even forget, he said, "Wait, you want to leave to do what? Cook food?" I said, "Well, if you want to put it like that, cook food, okay. But I just want to create content, you know?" And it was kind of like, it's still a new space like that, you know, when you want to be a content creator. I mean, it's still new, it's developing, right? So my mom was like, "Are you sure you won't do it side by side?" I said, "No, I can't focus anymore. I'm neither focusing in the law practice. I'm not focusing as a content creator.
Yeah.
I need to choose one hustle
Love that.
and focus." So that was what gave me the partners in my law firm didn't even make it easy for me. "Are you sure? Do you know what you're talking about? Is it not just a moment thing? Won't you wake up in 2 weeks or 3 weeks and say you've made a mistake?" I said, "It's very possible. I don't know, but
until you
I
try.
know I'll do this." So,
I think that's
yeah.
very fascinating, to be honest. Like, that's a whole another discussion for like another day, like chasing your passion
Yeah.
and, you know, also having a 9 to 5. But you mentioned something earlier, which brings us to the conversation today. You spoke about how, you know, it was a whole lot easier for you at that time because didn't have kids at the time, which brings us to our conversation today with it, which is dealing with infertility in the public eye. I know back in June you shared you shared your story more or less, very detailed, navigating through your journey with like motherhood and infertility and like having kids and raising a family. And first of all, I know that being a woman, just even being born a woman already
easy.
is work and it's hard. Now, having or dealing with certain issues as like concerning like reproduction and like infertility is hard enough when people don't even know you, and you just have to deal with your family, your friends, and deal with yourself because we are our own biggest haters and our own biggest critics. So now having to do all of that, and now you're in the public eye, and you shared your story. Let's even start with what inspired you to share your story and just say, "Okay, I want to tell people about this and what I had been through."
Okay, so it was my husband who said, "Are you sure you don't want to share your story? You could, you know, inspire someone, help someone who went through or is going through what you're going through now. Let them know they are not alone." And for a long time, I was like, I don't know. But, you know, he kept, "Just do it. You're helping someone." And I finally did it. And I was very, very glad that I did because, man, my DM was full. Emails kept trooping in. And yeah, I'm glad I did because a lot of people are going through it. And to know that they are not alone is a big deal. And I'm glad I did it.
Did you feel alone throughout the process? Like, I know you mentioned your husband, but like, as a woman, did you feel like you had other people to, even doctors? Like, I feel like, you know, there's a place here called Olive Branch. I thought it was a restaurant. It's a women's clinic.
Yes.
Like, did you feel like you could go to someone, guys, legit, I went there to eat, it said it's a women's clinic. But like, did you feel like there was other people, professionals, or even friends and family that you could just go and speak to about without feeling judged? Like, or here I say jumping the gun.
You see, I didn't really feel, maybe other people, but personally, I did not feel very open about it, like wanting to sit and have a chit chat over a cup of tea. No, because it wasn't something I expected.
I'm sorry.
I hug.
I really get really emotional, to be honest. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
It wasn't at all.
I was just so emotional.
I'm so sorry.
You guys will fix this thing later. Oh,
It's fine. No. Don't worry. We'll do this.
I'm so sorry.
We can go on. Don't worry. Even if he comes, I'll
Even
just
if
clean
it
it. I will
comes,
continue.
the storm is over.
I mean, the storm is over. So
Yeah. You have your twins.
The storm is
this is
over.
my dream of my twins as well. Taiwan,
it's
Kendo.
fine.
I remember they're coming, 1 and 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't remember the question.
Okay. What I even wanted to say was because we were talking about like it's being in the public eye. I know you said something about it's being like an open secret.
Yeah.
And yeah, what did you mean by it was an open secret?
Yeah. You see, I just felt like everyone was watching. Everyone knew my story. Not that everyone knew my story, no. I couldn't even celebrate. It was my wedding anniversary. Maybe I did it once or twice and then I stopped because I felt like people were counting. Okay, first one, because people are not very kind. After the first year, I guess as a married woman, the only time you get off is maybe after the first year,
Couple of years.
maybe. Yeah, then by the second year, everybody's wondering,
What's going on?
what's up, So I stopped celebrating my anniversary online because I didn't want people to start counting year one, year two, year three. So I just thought everyone knew that, okay, she's been here, she's been married, she's been in the public eye for a number of years. We haven't seen kids and stuff. So everyone knew what I was going through without me even saying it. Like I said, I wasn't very vocal about it that, oh, I'm passing through this because I was nursing. It was a pain I was going through. I didn't feel good
About
talking
it.
about it. There's some people who would even share their journey. I'm not that kind of person. It's private and private to me, right? So I wanted to just keep it. So when I meant it was an open secret, even though I wasn't talking about it,
It was out there.
it was out there. Everybody knew that year one, year two, year three. Maybe they didn't know how many years I was married for, but at least from the minute we knew you'd been married,
Yeah.
4 years on the ground, 5 years, something is not
That's
right.
counting.
Something is going on. And we're in Africa, you just don't choose not to have kids. I'm sure some people do, and I give them kudos. They are the brave ones. But most people don't choose not to have kids, especially if you're married, So that's what I meant. Like everybody knew. So it was my secret. I hadn't come to talk about it, but yeah,
But
the
people were
whole
talking
world
about
knew
it for you.
what I was going through.
You said something when we were talking earlier, the first bit, about it felt like a failure to you. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring out something from there, that the society that we live in generally puts the burden of fertility on women and having kids on women.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny because it's a joint effort at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
sperm needs to fertilize the eggs at the end of the day, even down to the things of, having boys and having girls. For the longest time, it was, why does she have 8 girls? She doesn't have a boy. Until modern science came and told us that, oh no, the chromosome for having boys is passed on by the father and not the
Yeah.
mother. And even at that, people are still very,
Even
very
at that,
ignorant. And
even the
still-
man will still go and
even
marry
the man
somebody else.
himself will still go
Yeah.
out and score away goal of another 15 girls and still come back home and think, it's giving like Baba Segi's wives now.
so.
And be putting the burden. So I just think it's very, very brave of you to. It's not, what I would say is you didn't fail.
Yeah.
And this is like going out to every woman out there, even the ones that have had it successfully and the ones who can't have kids. It's not a failure to have kids or not have kids. The fact that now, yes, I know that definitely it was a different time then than it was now. We're talking about some 5, 6, 7 years ago. You said you've been trying for now over 9 years, both
Yeah.
medically and naturally. So
Yeah.
10 years ago was different from now. Like we're more woke now, we're more open now, we're more
Are we?
ideally no.
Are we?
And see, even if it's by
We are,
1%,
as Gen
yes,
Z.
yes. Well, the
In a
upcoming
way.
generation
But-
is
Yeah.
we're more relaxed, and we know better
But-
back then. But unfortunately, you had to deal with like people who, and the thing, we lack tact as Africans. We feel really invested in the lives of people, even when we have no business, because
Yeah.
people can
Very
be very,
entitled,
very
actually.
entitled,
Yeah. Very entitled.
online and offline. But yeah, you said you went like 9 years
Yeah.
trying both medically and naturally. What was that waiting period like for you?
It wasn't the best at all. And one thing that kills you one thing that really messes with you during the waiting period is you have no idea. Something, if someone comes to say, don't worry, after 7 years, after 8 years, you'll give birth, but you have no clue. None. I remember, because my husband and I, God, what an irony, we're like, okay, first year we'll just chill. We're not going to get pregnant. So first year, there was no trying, nothing. Then by the second year, where we now started trying to say, wait a minute. Is it not supposed to be very easy? Biology says man, woman, the
Yeah.
next outcome is this. So it was It was difficult. Second year, then you tell people, say, oh, it'll happen. Third year, I think by the third year, I now started saying, Omo.
Let's say something on this
I don't know what's going on here, because it doesn't look like it's happening, right? And then you buy this ovulation stuff, you see it is positive. Oh, it's ovulation. Okay, now maybe I've been mistiming, but now hey, God, I'm big. So it was really, 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 really hard. And then you now see people online talking about maybe a woman just gave birth after 20 years. I remember one particular one. Well, people, you guys should be easy on people too when you're making comments online. So when they said, those of you who give birth easily or who have given birth easily, you don't know what God has done for you. God loves you guys so much. And I said, wow, God really hates me. What have I done? You see, it wasn't even directed to me. It was on another page, comment section of another page, anything.
Like 10 TLs away.
I wept. I wept. I was at work that day. I can never even forget. Like, what have I done, God? What have I done to be put in this position? Why don't you love me? What have I done? Do you understand? So it almost felt like those of you're lucky. And you see, there are a few people, I don't know, maybe they have an inkling, they've done something, maybe there's a medical procedure they've done or something that they know that they might have a challenge or something, but when you don't know, you're just very, should I say, naive, clueless. You just think A plus B is 1 plus 1 is 2. It's a lot more difficult because you're wondering what is happening, why me? And then on the other hand, why not you? Who would you rather
it's before
it happened to? But the waiting period was hard. And then my mom was doing everything possible. Let's go to this hospital, let's go to that hospital, let's do this, let's do that.
Did you?
I even drank some things.
I was even going to say that I feel like people's opinions during that period too, because I know that, like I said, well, Nigerians are very tactless. So we let me add myself too. Not even though I'm not part, but let's not be like, we can be quite tactless as people, ordinarily, like you're seeing a woman alone and her stomach looks big, and next question you're asking is, when are you having the baby, or when are you delivering, not knowing what the person is dealing with. Do you get, or is somebody adding weight and you're asking questions, or somebody losing weight and you're asking very insensitive questions, and then people are coming from everywhere saying, oh no, if you warm agbo with the under of the back of a palm wine tree and blend it at 3 a.m. in the morning and drink it 5 times daily, you will take in. If you use this drug, mix paracetamol with G and don't do that too. I'm just speaking randomly, guys. Don't go and mix that.
At that period when you're waiting, there's some things you cannot say, no, I'm woke, I'm only going to the hospital. Then you begin to look like, are you okay? Then some people begin to question you. Are you okay? So it now got to a point that they'll bring some kind of herb, some funny looking thing, and they'll say, this person's daughter drank it, where after she drank it. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, God, is this me? Is this me? And I will drink it and the smell will be horrible, the taste, but it's supposed to be for my own good. And then I'm woke. I know enough to know that these things don't have
medical benefits.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Medical benefits?
No, not even that. I mean, it's herbs, right? Herbs work. But these things don't have dosage, measurement. That kind of thing. So these things have side effects and all. But it gets to a point where you cannot talk again. You you've spent 6-7 years and somebody's telling you this is the saving grace.
Like you now become like an experiment to everybody.
This is it. And you say, no, you are not. Are you sure you're not the problem? Do you really want to give birth? You will drink. I pray nobody gets there. But no matter how woke you are, you will drink.
Do you remember because I feel like people say some stuff and it can be really, like I said, we already established that people can be insensitive. Do you remember, a person could have meant it like deliberately or like unconsciously, the most insensitive thing somebody said to you? Or now this is not just stuff that I said on, like someone has said something to you directly or maybe in like your comment section.
I was lucky. I'll say I was lucky. I didn't really suffer people talking to me directly. I really did not. I didn't have that from in-laws, from my own side of the family, I did not. But there was just one person who came to me and said, hi, Ify, this comes from a good place, but
Oh my
do you
God.
really want to give birth? Do you think you're maternal? Do you think you want to have a child? And I said, I don't understand. Where is that coming from?
Girl, you
What
should
have
slapped
I
her.
done? What have I said? Why have you looked at me and assumed I don't want to have a child? And that I'm just going about my life, like I'm going about my life like nothing happened.
Because she's
So
with
do
you
you want me to
24/7.
cry every day? I come to work. Do you want me to carry it on my head? Do you want to see me sad? How sad should I get? How much tears do you want to see before you know I want to have a child? You're not going to see that. No, you won't from me. I'm not going to give anybody that benefit. No.
Satisfaction.
I in my bed at night, I may cry in front of my husband, my mom, my dad, but to the public, I will clean my eyes and come out. And one thing I always knew that I would give birth. I knew that would happen. But what was killing me was the waiting period. When? Do you get? So I would see a pregnant woman on the road. Maybe I'm at work, I'm going somewhere, and I see a pregnant woman, and I'll just smile, say, that will be me soon. So I was always positive. So I didn't really let it drown me.
You never felt like any point, and did you ever feel like giving up at any point in time?
Oh yes, plenty times. Oh yes. For instance, every month I would buy the pregnancy kits. At a point I'm like, I'm done. Never ever. I'm never buying a pregnancy kit. I'm never buying an ovulation kit. Nothing. Anything that wants to happen. I tell God, if you don't even want to bless me with one, I think I'm done. I am okay. I'm done. I'm not doing this again.
Then how would you revive your hope?
I don't know, man. Then how would I revive my hope? Then there was a partner in my law firm. She just called me one day. We're not even on the same team at all. Just called me. Ify, I want to see you. Let's go to the conference room. Went to the conference room. I'm like, hey, God, I beg you. What have I done? This one I don't would.
Yeah.
What have I done? And then we sat down. She said, how far? What's going on? What's going on? What are you doing regarding this child issue stuff? I said, oh man, I've been going to the hospital. She said, okay. Because she heard, I told her about the efforts I was making.
Okay.
I've even gone abroad. I've done this. She said, okay. She now said, okay, one thing I want to say to you today is treat this like a project. Until you have a child, you cannot stop. Whatever you do, you cannot stop. And when that was what I started working with. So even when I'll get tired and frustrated, I'd remember her. Until you have a child, you cannot stop. So that was what gingered me. That was what fueled me. So even after one IVF failed, this, I'll cry, oh God, why me? In another month or two,
go again.
I'm up again. I cannot stop. So that was the only, I think, God bless Mrs. Agbo, because that was the only thing that was at the back of my mind. You cannot stop. Until you have a child, you cannot stop. That was what I ran with.
I want to ask about the medical side of things, because you just mentioned IVF, and I feel like people assume that IVF and
It's
you're
quick.
pregnant. Yeah. And also people don't realize how painful it is. Like, I know several people who've gone through IVF, and it's one thing trying for pregnancy, but you would experience, have you ever looked at your friend in pain and trying to, because you have to inject yourself and they're just in pain, and it's like, this isn't just the beginning of it, because even once you get pregnant, the way your body stretches, what if you have, sometimes they tell you that your child might not come out disabled, they tell you that your baby's not developing. Even you yourself, your liver, you can get diabetes, and not just normal diabetes, serious diabetes. Your ankles can swell, IVF, sorry, when I thought IVF, I was so much under the impression that you do this, go to the doctor, then
you gotta put you on that,
you're
and
pregnant.
extract this, extract that, and do this and that.
Seeing someone cry from just injecting, and then negative, we're not pregnant. It's even a weird thing, because seeing your friend in pain is not an easy thing.
Let's not even talk of
and
being
it's even
the
you
person
start
in
thinking
pain.
can I help? Do we want to how do you explain IVF to people? Because I won't lie, until I experienced it close up, I really thought IVF was and you get twins, triplets. If you're even lucky, you can get 5. I did not even know that. They actually, every
It's a
time you do
procedure.
IVF, you do 2 doses, and it could be 2 eggs. Sometimes one dies. So sometimes it's not always twins. It's by chart. Girl, I had no clue. I was just, I don't know, maybe it's cartoons that I've been watching, but I just thought, yeah.
One thing I think most doctors, especially the doctors who do IVF, I wish they would tell their patients, because you come just like you're very optimistic and think, just do this. I wish they would tell people
The truth.
keep your hopes. I don't know. Is it keep your hopes low? But if you tell me keep my hopes, then I don't know how I feel.
Yeah.
But you need to manage my expectation. It's not fair. It's not fair. You never tell us, and I'm talking to the doctors, you don't tell us that it's not an automatic process. It's not the first one. In fact, it was along the line I started knowing that you get lucky maybe the 3rd or 4th round. Some people get lucky the first one, right? But I'll say on average, it's the 3rd or 4th cycle. So prepare people. My very first IVF, I said, oh God, it's over finally. And then imagine the shock. It didn't work. And then there's a lot of money spent.
It's so expensive.
And then it's expensive. There's a lot of money spent, and then there's the procedure. Oh my goodness.
It's not easy.
Oh my goodness. So it's not a walk in the park by any means. So, and then only for you to get to the finish line 2 weeks after the what's it called now? The Jesus. Hey, what was it?
Implants.
2 weeks after the what's
Is it fertilization? Implants?
no,
Procedure?
the procedure of putting the embryo
Yeah.
in. I'm sorry, it eludes
That's
me right
like
now.
implants. It's sort of like.
Well, you all know what I'm talking about. So like 2 weeks after that procedure has been done, they've put the fertilized embryo into you and stuff. You would expect, oh, it's done. You don't even walk around.
Yeah.
You're sitting pretty in one place. You're so scared that if I
you
move,
shake.
hey, it's going to fall up, And then 2 weeks after, you run to the bathroom, you take your pregnancy stick, and you're seeing a big fat negative. Do you know what that does to your soul?
I've been there, me too, I wept.
It crushes you. It crushes you, because I think it's even worse than if you were expecting it naturally. But now you've had external factors. So, I mean, why wouldn't it work?
Why wouldn't it work if,
everything has been done.
Has been done.
Yeah. So they should warn patients, chill out.
Manage your expectations.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned. Okay,
so I was going to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how painful is it? Because
it is painful, because there's the process of retrieving the egg. That's a painful procedure too. It's not very, very. And then I think everybody depends on your own pain threshold now.
Yeah.
I have the lowest, and then the 4th cycle that I did that worked. I went to a different hospital, because I'd done 3 in one hospital, one very popular. I said, Akilude now, nothing. So I now called a friend of mine who was a gynecology. I said, she's been I let her into what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
My classmate from secondary school. So I called her. I said, look, what's this? I've had like 3 failed ones. What next? What should I do? Should I stay in the same hospital? Should I try somewhere else? If you want me to try somewhere else, you guys are gynecologists, so in your circle the best or something. I said, yes, there's this hospital. Try that place. The success rate has been really, really high. So I went to that hospital. In fact, I went there after a failed one. Let's say it failed in November. My husband was like, now we need to take a break. This is madness. You need to chill. I said, okay, no problem. But let me go to this doctor and just hear from him what to do. Or, the next time to come, just to prep, So I went to the hospital my friend recommended, and I saw the doctor, and he was like, okay, when was the last one? I told him everything I'd gone through. I said, oh, you'll get pregnant, it's no problem. So come back on this so day. In the meantime, take this drug. I said, no, I'm not doing
trying now. I just want to.
Yeah, I want to just chill. I'll come back next year. He said, no. You're going to
start it now.
We're starting the next cycle now. In 2 weeks, do this, come. My husband was right there. We said no. He said, don't worry.
Trust me.
Trust me. We're going to start. So I just finished one in November. In November, doctor is telling me we're doing another one. I said, okay, no wahala. The same process. Now I went through one procedure. I think they called it, they were scratching. They didn't even tell me. I think this was the most.
I think I've heard of it, yes.
Hey, goodness. So I'd never done that procedure. So the guy said they were going to do it for me. Right. I didn't even know it was. I said, is it painful? I said, I just experienced some sort of discomfort.
Gosh.
Guys, when they tell you discomfort, they're not telling the truth. It means, hey, there's a slight discomfort. So I went to that, normal. I'd been.
Did they push you under? Were you under any anesthesia?
No, I was very, very wide awake. Very, very. And then they went in there and I was screaming. I'm sure the whole hospital heard me. And I said, stop. If this is what they'll take to have a baby, I'm not doing again. Stop. I was screaming. He said, I think they've probably heard people scream. I'm not the first person. So they finished that procedure. And the next day was when they were going to do the putting in the embryo and all. I don't know, but it worked.
Was this that hospital in Lagos?
Yeah. There are many people who have come now. What this I recommend, and a few people have come back to say, "Oh yeah, it did." Yeah. So
what I even because I don't know. I know you spoke about.
Oida, so I just wanted to ask something. So concerning the IVF, looking at the cost implication, you talked about how expensive it is. Can you elaborate more on that? Because, as you said, a lot of people go in hopeful, oh, this is going to work the first time. Some people have already saved a certain amount that, okay, the first time I do this money and that's it. But they get there and realize that it is not enough. So can you just give, for people watching this, what can they
because it was like
an
estimate, so to speak. I mean, obviously, time you did is different from now, but as at that time, I'm like looking at it with like current financial realities. How much would somebody looking to undergo IVF ideally have to hold?
Yeah, and now I don't know. Maybe more hospitals are from, and when the demand is not
more than the supply,
or maybe equal, then the prices will be okay. But if not too many people were doing it and you go there high. So at the point, I don't know what it is now. I don't know. But drugs keep going high every day. And that's a very important part, the medication. Yeah. So I would say when I did it, at least 4, 5, 6 years ago when I first started, a cycle could go I know we paid maybe up to 1.5 million. It was over a million. Yeah. And along the line,
was that plus drugs? Or just
plus drugs, but along the line, maybe some more drugs here and there. So at the time, I know that it was well over $1 million for a cycle.
How many cycles did you?
4. It was the 4th cycle.
You took it on the 4th cycle?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you mentioned like in your video about having a miscarriage after the first IVF.
No.
Okay.
That one, the miscarriage, I was in the process of trying. I'll never forget. I went to the hospital as usual. Oh my goodness. Oh shit. I'm just reliving all those things. So I'd had a cycle that failed, and I was given some medication to see your period and all those kind of things. So after the set time, after when you take this medication, in 3-4 days you'll bleed and stuff. 3-4 days. No bleeding now. I went back to the hospital. They said, they gave me an injection. Okay, in next so days, you must bleed. No bleeding. What's going on? And I'd assumed the worst. So I went to the hospital again, like a month after. I said, look, no bleeding still. What is going on? And I said, okay, just, wanted to examine me. At that time, I was with my phone. While they were doing, I was with my phone, playing on my phone. I was expecting the worst. Because why would they give me medication? I did not bleed.
They gave you again
injection. I did not bleed. What again? What? So I mean, the mental is a lot. So that day I was just there. The next day the doctor said, "Mrs. Mogekwu." I said, "What? You're pregnant." And I show you they whine me. Show you they whine me. I said, I beg. He said, I've not seen this. You're pregnant. I didn't believe it. So on my way home, I bought pregnancy test kit. I went home. I tried it. It was positive. How? Then I didn't say anything. My husband came back from work that day. And then I showed him. Do you know this guy? Hey, God. I'll never forget. This guy screamed. He knelt down. God, thank you. I said, wait, Toga. So you've been wanting this day like this because he has never let on. Yeah. Like he wanted it. He'll just, oh, don't worry. We'll try again. Oh, never mind. You know, he was there. He never. So one time he saw it and he screamed. I said, God, thank you. He knelt down. I said, God. So,
I was not familiar with your game.
I said, so you wanted it this badly, but he was strong for me. Anyway, so after that one, I was so happy. I went hospital, started taking care of myself, you know. I wasn't even doing anything. And then I went for a checkup in 6 weeks and everything. And then doctor was like, you might need to do another test. I said, God. After many more tests, oh, I'm sorry. You lost the baby. Well, it was still in its early stages, but that was a blow because it was unexpected. It was
How many years into your fertility journey was this?
I'd finished. I think I'd just done the first cycle when it happened. I don't remember the years now, and then it happened. Well, I lost it. I waited for a few more months. Nothing happened again, so I went for another cycle until.
Wow.
So
how did you receive the news for your twins? Just walk us through the process because I mean we've discussed the whole struggle. Now let's get to the exciting part, the happy part.
Okay, so
after
after
we skip to the good part.
Yeah. So after the cycle where the doctor said you had to do it, I went along with him. I was like, okay. You know when your hopes have been high, so you deliberately don't make yourself
have zero expectations, reduce your expectations.
Zero. My friend even followed me to the hospital that day. I went there. We did the whole thing. Lie down for a few hours. I went home. I went to work the next day because the first 3 was I will sit down at home. Nothing will happen. So the doctor said, no, you can go about your day-to-day activity. Just don't do anything too stressful, you know. So the first 3 times I ignored the information. I was like that. No, 2 weeks on my bed, nothing. So this time around, I said no. I went to work. I did everything I was going to do without having a procedure, you know, being done or anything. When the time came to check, I snuck into the bathroom as usual because after the first 2 times, I used to wake my husband. I'm going to check, but by 3rd time, I just sneak in. So I woke up that morning. I had a pregnancy kit. I snuck into the bathroom. I peed on it and it was positive. I just sat down there.
Did you Google what is positive sign?
I saw 2. I sat down there. I did not move. I just sat down. That my friend that went with me to the hospital knew the day I was going. So she called me. I said, it's positive. I don't understand. I'm seeing 2 lines. I don't get it. Because I stayed in the bathroom for so long. My husband then came and knocked the bathroom door. He opened the door. He knew when I got up from the bed. But as usual, it'll be. So he did not, just wanted me. So because I'd stayed so long, he then came, what's going on? Maybe I'd slit my throat or something. Came, what's going on? And then I showed him. But we're not excited. I don't know if you guys, you know, you've been disappointed.
You've been through this before.
So many times that you can't allow yourself feel excited or feel the joy. It's not, I mean, why? Then you feel the joy and then something happens. So just, it's this. Okay, let's go to the hospital. Went to the hospital that same day. And then the doctor was asking me, how do you feel? Is your breast heavy? Your breasts, are they heavy? Do you feel this way? I said, nothing. Have you done a pregnancy test? I said, no. Because I wanted them to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so they did the blood test, everything. Then he called me and my husband back to his office and said, Ms. Mogekwu, poker face, nothing. I said, Jesus, what? And said, congratulations. You're pregnant. But shh, don't get too happy. Relax. So I so disappointed. I mean, you're excited.
You found out you were having twins?
Oh, I didn't know. Because the process is they'll usually put 2 or 3 embryos.
Yeah.
They put 3. I even told the doctor, don't put 3. Oh. I don't want to have triplets.
Triplets.
He said, what do you
Sometimes
know? I
on
beg.
births,
So he put 3 eggs in, 3 embryos in and everything. So when he told me I was pregnant, I was happy. Then you go at least, we're like 2 or 3 weeks later to check. They said, oh, there are 2, but one appears to be dying off. So only one looks good.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. I mean, there's one, no problem. So 12 weeks, normal checkup. I went to another hospital and I said, oh my God, the 2 of them are doing. I said, what? 2? Because I thought
One had a go, yeah.
Also, the egg split, one egg split.
No.
Huh?
They said one was
said
doing
one was
well,
dying
and the
off.
other one was that
Yeah,
didn't
one
look
was-
like
yeah,
it was going to stay.
Oh, okay.
So, but one was doing very well.
Yeah.
So when I went, I'm like, oh my goodness, they're both doing well. Both? How? I said, okay, let me see. Is one bigger than the other? Because they had told me one. They said, no, that they're doing equally
yeah.
well. Wow. That was how I knew I was having twins. It was exciting, but at the same time, you've been disappointed for so long that you just have to manage the happiness and stuff. So.
And then when you had them,
The having them was another story. But at least when they even first came out, like, God, thank you.
were you secretive about because I feel like at that kind of point, family members will be telling you, don't let people know you're pregnant.
Nobody
You
knew
have
I was
to.
pregnant. And then it was COVID.
Oh wow.
Oh, damn.
Oh, COVID babies.
It was COVID. So I was indoors
Inside.
the whole time. I didn't even tell my family I was expecting twins. So they thought it was one baby, But nobody knew. So I went to the hospital and it was after then. I'm like, okay, I was like, oh, really? I said, these people now, they'll say, did she not go and carry the baby? Did she not go and... I had some pregnancy pictures and videos. At least you people will see
you
that
see the
one.
evidence.
Because it was COVID, nobody
It just even occurred to me. Did you explore other options for having kids aside IVF and like trying naturally, like maybe surrogacy or adoption
Oh,
or
no, because my situation or whatever, they said they didn't know what was wrong. It was unexplained. So I didn't have a particular challenge that needed surrogacy.
Yeah.
So even the doctor, I remember the hospital I was going to, I was the one who told the doctor, please recommend me for IVF. Because you keep telling me next month. I'm tired. I'm not doing it again. Let me just go for IVF. And so my situation did not warrant surrogacy because it kept giving me hope that, you'll
Can
get
I
pregnant.
ask a personal question? So just to understand, nothing was wrong with you medically. It's not like you had any. So you're literally just I say this because people always assume that, if a woman can't have a child, then something's wrong with her.
She's aborted the entire children in a womb. Thanks to knowledge.
oh my god. No, but yes, no, but like so many rumors. I was even gonna say that. I feel like maybe some people have said maybe like because like imagine having like a successful career and then you started a food business or like food content creation and you're being successful as well. And as a woman, when you're making money, people don't like it now. They're angry. They can start saying spiritual implications. Do you get that she has used them to do jazz?
Yes, now.
People would say any and everything to be
And
vile.
like she
It's
said,
crazy.
Nollywood does not help the matter
At all.
because
You know what?
once you have an abortion or 2, and you have challenges.
Yes,
I'm not saying
it's
it
time to-
doesn't help it,
Yeah.
but it could happen. And even if you haven't done any at all,
Yes.
these things happen.
And they put the
then,
responsibility on women.
I asked the doctor, I said, I don't understand. I ovulate. My husband has done his checks. Everything is
It's
good.
fine.
Why am I not getting? I need you to explain it to me like I'm a child. Why? And he said, look, forget all those things you read. This was what he said to me. Until you get pregnant, that is when you have ovulated for real, or the sperm, everything. That is until you get pregnant. So forget all those, I'm ovulating. Why is it not happening? That is not black and white like that. It's not. That you can't explain these things. That's what he said. That you can't really explain that.
Yeah, what you just said just reminded me of an experience. I remember when I was pregnant and I went to the hospital because of a family member had like issues with her child, and I asked the doctor, what causes these things? What causes children to have disabilities? And he said, see, as doctors, some doctors even have kids with disability. You don't know sometimes. It just happens.
It just happens, to be honest. And I feel people need to educate
Kinda,
yourselves. I'm not even going to smile and be kind because people are not kind. People need to educate yourselves. Pick up a book and read. Don't let that stereotype be, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book, be true. The sole burden of fertility, it should not be on a woman, number one. Number two, anything can happen. There are many things that modern science cannot explain to date. if people can believe that, okay, let me not even enter down.
If
If people can believe that Jesus walked on water, I feel like you should also be able to believe that there are many other things that modern science cannot explain that happen. So yes, let's be kind, let's be nice, mind your business. If it doesn't concern you, even if it concerns you, because 9 out of 10 times when people say I'm coming from a good place, trust me, you are not. It's Olofofo and Amebo that is doing you. It's Amebo that is doing you, because you're not me. You don't know what I've been through, what I'm dealing with. Mind your business. If you see someone that has, because I know I had somebody, close person to me, and her stomach started swelling, and people ask her, when is the baby due? When is the baby due? And she was suffering from fibroid that nearly took her life. I remember being in, like, with my sisters, being like, we were quite young. I was in secondary school, I think, being with my sisters. My parents were with her in like surgery, and we were praying all through the night for her to come out alive. And people are there running their mouths that she has gone to get rid of the baby. You don't know what somebody is dealing with, but you're having certain opinions about people's bodies. Please, I beg, dead that mentality. This is 2024. And if a woman chooses not to have kids or can't have kids, it doesn't make her any less of a woman for not doing that. You're a woman because you are. Not because you can have kids, or not because kids can have you or whatever. And you don't need to have to biologically carry kids for you to be a mother.
Yeah.
You don't need to. There are many people out there that are mothers, good foster mothers, people that adopt. Doesn't make them any less of a mother. Doesn't mean they can't celebrate Mother's Day. So, people should mind their business. But on the lights on. Okay.
As we round up, I feel like, there's so much more. I feel like people should definitely be kinder to women, especially when you get married. It's as soon as you marry, the next expectation is, where is the child? And it's like, it's not your business. If I'm married tomorrow, I cannot have a child even this year. Like, the economy is not even real. Like, do you know how much oil is? Like, let's even baby milk. Baby milk is 25k. My neighbor buys every 4 days. She buys new baby milk.
I went to the wholesale market. I was just asking this because I was buying toothpaste and other stuff. So I was just asking them, and let me remind myself that this is why you're going there. Better be very careful with your escapades and things that you do. But I said, let me ask this my uncle, how much are you selling diapers? And he's like, oh, it depends on the price. It ranges from 7,500 to like 15,000. I said, okay, it's okay. Now how long would this thing last? Because if it's 7,500, I'm seeing like a couple of months. I was like, no, depending on how they be that, they use 3 in a day. At least it should be changed 3 times a day, and depending on how they pee and poo and stuff. So I'm like, okay, on diapers alone, we're talking about monthly. Okay, how much is SMA? And he's telling me, because confession, I like licking SMAs. I remember my auntie had a baby and she told me to make that. So I was like, okay, let me go and find out how much that is. And I was saying the price, and I'm like, how much is half bag of rice? Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think that, oh well, this is what it is. But on a lighter note, let's just...
What would you say to someone else? Sorry, I know...
Yeah.
First, you're a lawyer, you're a content creator, you're a mom, you're a wife, you wear many beautiful hats. Yeah. What would you say to, number one, a woman who's gone through this? Because I actually I know people they stopped. And it's like, you also don't want to say, oh, try again because I know something. Like, what would you say to a woman in this that has experienced where you're coming from or is experiencing it as well? So... post and pre, I believe that. Like, what would you say just to...
For people who feel like they also want to give up and stop and they've tried and it's not working, as somebody who has been through that journey and come out on the other end happy in the public eye, what would you say to women who are also going through things that are similar to you and feel like they want to stop?
Don't stop. I'll just say don't stop. Just like my boss said to me in the office, it's a lot. I know what you're going through. It's a lot. Financially, emotionally, physically, because there's some medications that you take and then you start blowing up. People don't know. Oh, you're putting on so much weight. You have no clue what's going on. So many things are going on. I know. But don't stop. You'll carry your own baby. Don't stop. Keep going. Okay?
Thank you.
It's been really, honestly, wonderful having you here with us. Just let us know what's next for...
Oh, sorry. One more thing.
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, my God. Apart from, trying all medical procedures or listening to your doctor, you need to pray. Very important.
I saw a post
whatever procedure, whatever thing you're doing, pray. Collabo. You get it? Yeah. So you need to pray, even for the patients to go through what you're going through, for everything to just remain sane. You need to pray. That period every day. I used to go to mass.
Was your faith tested?
Not really, because I remember I knew I was going to have a baby.
Okay.
I just didn't know what time. So my issue with God was, when now? Is it not getting too long? But I keep praying every day. So please pray to just maintain sanity within yourself. Pray.
So what's next what should we look forward to seeing from Ify of Ify's Kitchen? What big plans are in the works? Let us know, plug us to those good things.
No way. I'm not much of a talker, honestly.
Fair enough.
I'm not.
Actions.
I prefer to work and behind the scene, and then you see. So I admire people who come out and say, oh, I'm doing I like that. But I prefer to work and then you see the stuff.
But definitely we should expect big things from you.
Oh yes. Okay. We've only just started.
I love it.
Let's go.
It's really wonderful having you here. And definitely we've taken away a lot of things. And I feel like our viewers have taken a lot of things as well. And, we'll definitely love to have you come back here again and talk to us. And
Please, sorry, my one is different. Yeah. Carry me when you're doing food show. Let me be your personal taster.
I told our producer that
I don't want
to have
had
it tastes.
Yes, you have brought food for us now.
I told them that we should have had a taste test to spice things up a little.
Whenever
but
you're filming or you're on set, you do your show again.
Yeah.
Maybe the cooking we cannot help.
Now
but the
I know
tasting,
you. I know. One day I'm going to invite you.
We're here for you.
After this, professional eatery.
I will submit myself.
I got you.
No worries. I got you.
But thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Terms and Conditions. Bye.
Bye.